this is exactly what I wanted last night, was this exact area. No, it's just
Is this much better? Is it not like 480p? All right. This is not what we want to see out of like a reversal. We do have a bit of a CSD, I suppose, but even that is kind of very sus. 1080 now. All right. If we snap structure, I'm hoping we get a trade back up, and then we respect the midpoint of like this movement. Right? If we like look at like this, like at 280 or something along those lines. Get rid of all that. All right, there goes our snap. It should break structure. It'd be silly if it didn't. I knew that was, I mean, we were watching this in here and it was very different. Very, very different. Having some difficulty? Okay. Everybody good? Just setting up all this nonsense. It's a second sweep of a structural area. I do think that we end up closing. I think we'd have to close above here. This is your first decent bit of buying that's come in, though. Be shocked if we didn't take that low. At least trading through this open. Building an SNDR, running it. This is a little sus though. This should go now if it's going to. That's not the response people want from a strong bull bar. So we should get a closure. We got that now. Okay, we've actually technically broken structure on the 1 minute time frame. Looking for this to retrace back up into our new swing, ideally. Now, in fairness, this has been going since about 6:55 in the morning. So we've got, what, about a half an hour? So that means that we're not even looking at the 5. We're actually looking at it as like a 15-minute zone and inversion. So ideally, we get, we chop around in here for another 5 minutes or so, or 4 minutes rather. I doubt that this should invert and close underneath that low. And then we're looking for a trade back into this new 15-minute inversion after delivering from this higher time frame one. And then we're looking to run this low, that low, and probably a little bit beyond. Would be how I would structure that. Obviously, we've inverted on the 5. Cool. trading back into our 15-minute opening range, so we should see a bounce. There's a lot to like about the area for a long. For the retracement, though, we're not looking for this high. And we'll see what we get. Still no trades, fighting with everything. Really good longs out of the morning at the midpoint of this swing. Right? You got your AMD. We finally closed above here, so no real idea waiting. And that's sort of you're looking at this attempt to fail, which got nuked here, trades back into this area of interest of internal structure, and then leaves. Yeah, so we're still bearish. We want a closure above here, and that would facilitate a movement back up to 280, whether we take these failure swings. This high would be lovely if we did end up running it at like 86. But cannot go long, and can't go short here either. Getting that nice. Might get a stall candle, which would facilitate a movement at least back up to the 80s. I think stalking short is the better trade. Again, we want like a decent closure above this open. Right? 80-50 or 40-50, sorry. She's having some struggles, but I think she gets there, mainly because we're facilitating the pullback. We very well could get held up at the midpoint here and then just drop. That's a beautiful sweep. We'll see what this candle ends up bringing. Yikes. I don't want to be too eager shorting down here because we've just achieved our major objective of trading back into the opening range. As much as I'm loving the idea of this melting down another 100 points, which I think is valid, I don't really want to just be aping in here.
We got those data lows down at 21,071 that haven't been touched.
What's my use default CSD? There we go. Alright, so we failed here. Technically we got a CSD, I suppose, but I need to see a closure above there to go long. I can't necessarily go short. I am expecting this. Do we get like a... Ah, there we go. There we go. Now you got a bit of an SNDR that broke your lower time frame structure. Assuming we actually get like a closure above this candle here at 49.25, then if it trades back down to 41, I could structure a long out of it. That's an if. There we go. And this would be a tight stop underneath this low here as well. Right, and this I'm looking for facilitation at least above this at like in the 60s. That low there is 22.25, so let's put that stop in. Oh my goodness. Is this even gonna let me? This is insane. There we go. She's having a lot of troubles. This might end up being a stop. We'll see. A lot of troubles. I don't think that was enough of a pullback, but if we're in a higher time frame delivery and this is just going to clap, then we'll find out very, very quick. And it looks like it's going to. There's the sweep of that candle. We'll see if we get any sort of lift out of this at all. Still involved. Got our sweep. Cool. Right? That low was 26.5. This low was 25.25. So stop was underneath here because that's our swing point. We did take some liquidity, and now this should just blast if it's going to at all. Otherwise, this is going to be a pretty rough stop. And I'm happy to be wrong, as I think it's just going to drop very, very quick. I'm going to take that off. You market. I do think it goes up a little bit higher. I like that a lot for the movement, but the eagerness of the sell pressure until this, being a little bit eager with my profit target. So happy with the win, but as you can see, it's not exactly conducive to exactly what I want. We're more looking to see if we CSD back the other way now, which would be like a closure underneath this candle. Then I would look to take this short, and then that would be like a ride. Where's your 10 a.m. candle, at least? Where's your 10 a.m. candle? Right, so major news came in actually up here. So a little surprised we didn't stab into that low at 79. The long's probably not still, or is probably still valid. I'm just not happy with the delivery, and I don't really want to be holding a swing long inside of lethargic movement. I'm expecting higher time frame short, right? Yeah, and if you're going to hit that CSD failure, that's very aggressive, and I usually wait for a second sweep for this exact reason. Sometimes we'll take that liquidity, come back down, and then that fails. Okay, so at worst, you're break even there. Because you don't know if we're going to, if this failure is then going to run higher or whatnot. Your probability is then skewed. So we'll see what we get. This lethargic movement, our CSD area right now is this. You guys getting caught in chop? Or are we good? Okay, see if we get that closure. Looks like we are. I think a very aggressive short could have come in at 40. I'm hoping we stab back up into this open at 35s. If this closes here, I'd be hard pressed to not take it short, and yet it's not really what I want to see. I want to see a closure underneath this low. We got quite a bit. That's a nice little tap back in. What are you thinking, Mikey? Do you think this is go time?
I'm short, but I'm break even at 47.
Yeah, you hit it, eh? You hit it in here. Smart.
Yeah.
Oh, get up there, 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 get up there. No, this is pretty heavy. I don't want to be short in the low of this, but this is heavy. Okay, we'll sit on my hands and be patient.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Oh man, at least this low at 160s, eh?
I took 5 up at like my original. I took 3 off at the lows, the inside lows, and then I'm gonna let 2 run.
Good lad.
Because if this is it here now, like this should fucking go.
It'll be gone, eh?
If not, at least I took some money off the table.
What are we getting here? We've got this high, maybe at 28s, maybe.
We bounced at discount. Like that was the initial bounce, and we kind of bounced back up into 50% as well, like back into discount, like, you know, from discount to discount, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's good failure up in there.
That's really good. What's going on here? We like sideways after this. Just an immediate response to this bullish candle. We might get something a little bit bigger.
Ideally, you want to see like kind of like this level hold here.
Mm-hmm.
We're also getting like kind of like a double bottom looking on the 5 minutes, so.
We're gonna find out. That's that stab into that order block that I like. Ideally, we've got this CSD level here.
Order submitted.
That's a nice little stab into that area. Now this is violent.
I'm out there.
This is violent, so we might get our we might get a double bottom and a lift. This is charging up. That's your CSD spot that just had a pretty big response. We'll see if there's any follow through.
This area needs to hold if you want to continue the shorts, but it's not looking good because now we got like nice like inversion back. But I just scalped that first move, took some money.
No, it was a beautiful scalp, bro.
Order submitted.
It's kind of an aggressive short on Apex. Still waiting for confirmation for ETF. I think that this is the area that I would want to get short, but waiting for a little bit. We'll see. Ooh.
Order canceled.
Okay, took that off there. Pretty big closure above this now. Was liking the aggressive area where we got sent down and then we made a new swing. This was valid, right? So we broke structure, created a valid pullback, continued lower. This would be a structural break. If it trades above this, I don't think we will, to the point where I'm actually hitting that now. We might sweep this higher, but I'm expecting lower. And this would just dump underneath this low. Or it should dump underneath that low. Like, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Right, so this low, probably going to take, well, I'll probably just take that off underneath there. We'll see. We'll see if we get like a massive displacement. Not really liking this, obviously, but I think given the circumstances and that candle, I can afford to see the follow through, given that we're expecting this to get wrecked. It'd be disgusting if it didn't, but I'm not going to let it run all the way back up either. Okay, do we sweep that imbalance? Trade through. That's good.
Order submitted.
For real.
Order canceled.
Okay. Wow. This will be a break even if it trades back up. That's disgusting.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Major failure here or I'm gone at 45. And probably my last trade on Apex too. Nasty sweep and failure from the origin, but again, trading based off of structure being bearish. But she's got to go now. Oof. I should probably be out of this, eh? Just not the follow through we wanted. That's a violent sell off. We'll see what we get here. But they probably squeeze everybody, eh?
Time frames. 5 seconds on this candle, see if we can get back below.
If we sweep and fail here, I'm gone. I am holding that. I'm in with 3 micros. I'm holding this. Have to walk with Apex. Multiple losses in a row. Expected a little bit more follow through than what we got there. This was disgusting, if I'm honest. Right? Structurally still fine. Just disgusting movement here, which might end up being the area where they really exchange. And looking for that low and then well beyond. But got to get a closure underneath this, and I think we take that low and then beyond now. Abysmal follow through after breaking.
This is a dirty little range they got going on here.
Yeah, which is I think better for the bearish movement. Like we did CSD and we failed to CSD back the other way, so I probably shouldn't be as high conviction in the short side. You know, I'm going to take this off here. I'm going to take that off there. We CSD'd back this way. We failed that way. This is actually still technically bullish. Even though, like, bullish order flow in bearish structure, which is probably causing this major range. Still really like it to the downside, but just having lack of follow through here. So took 15 points. You're seeing a lot of people step up too. Like this is not the area you want to see respected. And by all accounts, I probably should still be in this short. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. But like they're now stepping up. You kind of got your bouncing ball. I'd be shocked if they didn't at least sweep these out. This is just not how you expect a rally to happen. I just didn't like that we failed to CSD here. I don't like that at all. Right, like if there was any sort of swing point here and then we got like our bearish flip, cool. Like, I can't go long, but I think that people will be going long underneath this low and that open there. Man. Am I crazy for looking at this? Am I crazy for looking at this long at all?
It's bullish on the lower time frames, right?
Yeah, I suppose that's a fair point. Like our 5 is looking like failing above, still sweeping underneath. We're in this 5-minute range here, and I expect probably a meltdown. Like we're sweeping inside of this. We did invert. Did we invert that 15? I think we did. That high of 19.5 that closed at 1875. So in reality, yeah, we did invert that. Technically. What's ES doing? ES is like inside of the opening range. Like it's gone. NQ is like up here. ES is already like down. Yeah, we're having a lot of troubles, which is not good for shorts, but it's certainly accumulating a lot of them. And it looks like the lows are coming in for those of you guys that held through all that nonsense. Let's get some of these executions on. There it goes. And are you away to the races? Or do we finally expand now? Whew. What do we got? We got this consolidation. Might get a bounce from it. Might get a trade back up into here. This made sense structurally, and yet my lack of conviction was based off of order flow. So that's a bit of a flub there, and happy that I didn't hit the long, even though like based off delivery you can, but like we were talking about, if it's structurally poor, not exactly ideal conditions anyway. So sitting here, I think on micros, what do we got? Like a couple $100? Yeah. Nothing crazy, even though we were pretty much on the right side the entire morning. Probably should have been a little bit more active. That short there that you took was beautiful. This short there, at least stop above or something, and then just if it took us out, then it took us out. But missed out on 70 points here now. plus, plus, plus. I think in terms of initial target, you've got this one here. What's our intermediate time frame looking at? Yeah, definitely that low there. I think that's 58. Sorry, 48.
Midnight opens down at 166 here.
166 too. Okay. Be interesting to see what ends up happening now that we've got a bullish candle. If we just immediately sell off down to that midnight, that'd be cool. Almost.
Send it, baby. There we go.
There's your midnight open. Beautiful. Literally bounced to the tick off of it. Still looking at the 40s. Depends on the response here. 10:57, so we got 2 minutes before the hourly open. So you might get a little bit of buying, and then we flush that out, and we get a movement back up into here, maybe. Otherwise, I think we're still going to be trending quite a bit lower. Violent. Wow, was it ever? What the hell? Midnight open, huh? That is disgusting. That is disgusting. Panic at the Disco. They're trying to sell it off. That's a violent sweep if they get failure. That's a big if. As it stands right now, they look to be like accumulating positions.
15's got a big sweep going on now.
man, oh man. 80 points on air. Both down, then up. What a time to be alive.
Market be moving, man.
That's a nice stall candle as well. What do we got going on here? Oh, that's gross. I think we clean up these failure swings. But that's only if we can if we can close above this candle on the 5. This 11 a.m. push might just be taking liquidity. We inversed a lot. I like that a lot. But we've also achieved this back down. Here's ES. ES almost took the morning low, but that's a beautiful CSD there too. On both, really. This is your last structural zone though, so we do have a protected high here. All the way up. We could be building an SMDR here. I think I'm gonna risk. I'm gonna risk for the movement back up into this area that we didn't really get this morning. We'll see if we get a stab down and then go. And just a 20-point stop. I doubt it trades far below this if it's going to stab into this sort of gap area, but I'm thinking that we're building an SMDR to now run this protected high, and then that would trade up into the 80s maybe. But we've got to go. We got to go here. Stall candle's fine. Don't really want to sweep it a failure. Like this has got to blast if we're gonna do it at all. Otherwise, we're looking at this not being an SMDR, which means we're just trading back into this area and then blasting down. Right, so looking for this high here at 62s, at least. Stop goes to break even just in case we get anything crazy. And we'll see if this is indeed an SNDR or if we're just going to take some liquidity and fail here at AMD. In which case I definitely don't want to be long. Taking that high, cool. Not what I'm interested in. Starting to stall out a little bit. This very well could end up being break even. I think if we push and we respect the midpoint of this wick, I'll move my stop up to that low of 42s. You know what? Actually, 40.25. Okay. Still a valid idea. And just chopping me around a little bit. It probably runs now, and that was just a stupid idea. But yeah, here it goes. Oh, should have left it at break even, eh? We'll see what we get. I can see this running to 290. Yeah, me too. I think that this high and then this one for sure. And we didn't clean up any of this as well. So might revisit depending on what this stab looks like if we get like a bearish stall candle. Oops. Get rid of that. God. There we go. If we get like a bearish stall candle, cool. If we... Otherwise, like I'm not really interested in this. This is kind of nasty. determining if we're going to CSD here or not. This was a little lethargic. We'll see if we get a stab in. Do we have anything on the 5? We got a 5-minute low here. Cool. At 26s, which just got tagged. What's ES doing? ES is melting. I do think that we still continue higher. See if we get a pick up at 30 and then it goes, or if it's just going to run now, which is going to be very, very annoying and just too slow. That going red to green was it. That going red to green was the re-entry. That open was at 47. Don't really want to be getting in this high, but man, that was a violent, violent failure. Right, so I would have been taking out break even anyways, and it just had to come down into that that imbalance. We've now taken that protected high. Trading back in, we'll see if this order block holds. I think it should, which would be that open there again at like 47s or anything underneath it. 20-point stop to clear out some of these highs. We've got these stack protected highs here and these failure swings, so I would at least be looking at this high here that we were talking about earlier at 86. Yeah, okay. Hit that there. A little bit of failure, fine. But we'll see. This will be a 20-point stop. 52 is the re-entry. So looking at probably underneath 30 for a stop. Don't really want it coming back down to this area. I think if we're going to stall here, then we'll still see lift. Getting in high, yes, but based off of this candle formation, I'm fine with that. It's not ideal. I think we have got lots to clean up earlier. Obviously, I'm not wild about this protected high. It's not A+ whatsoever. I could end up just being hit in this AMD. So we'll see what ends up happening here. If this sweeps and fails and we continue higher, then away we go. Otherwise, they were selling, they ran everybody out, and including me are about to get dropped in on. This will be important. That could be a liquidity grab. I think my stop should go underneath that low now at 37s. And if they're going to run it out and get some more liquidity higher, then we're going to find out very, very quickly. Usually I don't like getting in this high for this exact reason. I'm in at a very bad spot trying to push a high based off of a whole bunch of different factors. This being structure, this being expansion, how we barely traded back down. If we're going to trade to the midpoint of this is going to CSD here, in which case I'm flat now. So we'll see what goes on. I do think higher. I don't really want to be hitting and hitting and hitting. That was probably a bad spot to get in retrospect, but the idea was based off of it kind of tapping in, sweeping, and then going. Obviously, we didn't get that. Let's see what we got. Catch short. Even though I think it's probably pretty valid. What do you think about a short, actually, Mikey, now that I'm looking at it?
I'm gonna wait, bro.
I think so too, eh?
Like we tapped into that original consolidation down there, had a pretty strong reaction, so I'm just gonna wait for more information.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Wait and see like what comes about here around like 11:50. See where we are. I don't need to be. I'm up pretty good on the day, so I don't need to be chasing
Good lad.
shit that's not super clear. You know what I mean?
Good lad.
Like I hit that short at open.
Yeah, you had a beautiful beginning of the day, didn't you?
And then I hit that short again on stream there when I said I hit it.
Yeah, I should have held through that, and this would have been a big, well, much bigger day. At least on 3 micros, we're sitting at like $167. Like that's nothing. Nothing. But we'll see.
Like we tap back into like the weekly open and we reject it, right? So it just there's a lot of consolidation here, so we'll just see what I'm not gonna get caught in this fucking chop. Wait until some like higher time frame candles close here, like this 15-minute. I wanna see like I don't know what the next one brings.
CST back on the 5. We're still technically bullish at the 15. Yeah, I think there's a lot to like about the long side. I'm going to wait and see if we get a second sweep of this just because of the violence. If we close above like this open, then I might entertain a long. I might consider a sweep with a tighter stop in here, expecting this to not have the midpoint touched. That'll be that low there at 23s. Does she take it? There it goes. Yeah. 25. And this will be a market out if we come anywhere below like 10. This is essentially expecting this to be a final sweep, and we respect the expansion of this. And then we're going to liquidate all of this. Otherwise, I'm just going to be wrong almost immediately and embarrassed. Wow. Okay. Well, that was way too aggressive of an idea, obviously. And here we are. Let's suppose that is like directly at the midpoint. But we'll see. I'm going to step away for a sec and let this shake out. And just not really happy with the last 2 trades that I took. I think that I'll let this play out a little bit. We'll hop back on maybe for lunch hour or something like that. We've got a bunch of different stuff going on today and tomorrow with the ETF giveaway. I still like this long, just can't justify it here. But we'll catch you guys in a few minutes. We'll catch you guys in about an hour or so. I'm gonna just hop off, get a coffee, and let this shake out a little bit more.
Sounds good, bro.
Okay. Bye.